On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about The Stranger by Billy Joel. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it, but we also like other kinds of music. And on occasion, we like to talk about that as well. During the months of March and September, we like to talk about stuff that's not metal that we like. And This week, you were like, hey, let's listen to a Billy Joel album.
Sure, because I'm sure you've never listened to one.
It's true. I've never listened to a Billy Joel album. I've heard plenty of Billy Joel songs. In my day. I've heard a few Billy Joel songs in my day.
I've been around the block.
But yeah, no, I've never sat and listened to a whole Billy Joel album before. I like this one. Spoilers. I like it. It's good.
Well, yeah, but I think that's a consensus of Earth. I think, it's pretty much. Yeah, people
seem pretty keen on this Billy Joel fella.
Yeah,
we'll see how that shakes out. That was. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I think it was more like, we'll see what I think.
No, that's the important opinion.
I'm gonna be contrarian and say that I don't like Billy Joel. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who just don't care for Billy Joel and aren't assholes about it.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. If you don't like Billy Joel, that's perfectly fine.
Let's just say we work with a dude who refers to him as the greatest singer-songwriter of all time.
Yeah? Wait, sarcastically or genuinely?
No, he's genuine about that. In fact, when I worked with him in radio the last time and he quit because they fired his ex-wife, which I didn't really get, but I kind of got, but I didn't get. Anyway, he on his last day, every hour of his show, he played a Billy Joel song. And then as he's signing off at 6 p.m., he says, it's been great. I love all you guys. Don't take no shit from nobody.
That's a great way to sign off.
Yeah.
I'm already out of here. What you gonna do?
Then he got into a rental car and drove 4,000 miles eating only Subway the entire time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. He didn't lose any weight, by the way.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna have that sort of reaction, I guess, to listening to this Billy Joel album. But I would say it seems to be, Billy Joel, very incredibly talented singer-songwriter. We'll talk more about Billy Joel later on. First, how are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. I'm tired today, but I'm fantastic.
I'm also tired today. I've had a headache like all day.
Really? The tumor coming back? Or
it's the tumor. No, I think I don't know why, but I just clenched my jaw all night last night. And I know that's what it was because my jaw hurt this morning in addition to my head.
Sure. Guys get earn a living, I guess, you know?
Yeah. My jaw muscles no longer ache quite so bad.
Sure.
The headache has not gone away.
Gotcha. Have you take anything for
a lot? Yeah.
A lot. Okay.
I took 3 aspirin first thing in the morning. It did fuck all. I took 2 more on my lunch break. It didn't do anything. I took 3 ibuprofen about an hour ago.
It's gone straight to your head.
And I'm it's not been a bad headache, but it's been bad enough to be annoying and frustrating, where it's like this Wikipedia page here. That's hard to look at. It hurts my brain a little bit, and I don't care for that.
Could you make the wording bigger, or is it too bright?
It's not the size of the words. It's the fact that it's white. I don't know why Wikipedia hey, I know you're always hard up for cash because you're always asking me for money, and I'm happy to help out. You're a great service that I use constantly because I am always in need of information because that's how my brain works. But also, could you have a fucking night mode like every other website in existence now? Why is it only white? Why can't I have something that is not as bad for my eyes? Like, so like a darker, more comfortable color. That would be great.
Something warmer.
Every other website in existence is like, hey, we've got a new dark mode. So you won't burn out your retinas while you're trying to look something up in a slightly dim room.
But no, Wikipedia has to be whites only just all the time.
Yeah, it is whites only.
Yeah.
It's a segregated website. No, that's not true. That's not true. But no, it's the headache has been it's come and gone like between the hours of like 3 and 5 this afternoon. I was feeling pretty good, and then in the last couple of hours it's kind of come back. Like around noon it was pretty unpleasant. But yeah, I'm doing okay, I guess. Cool. You said you were tired, and then I did my thing. What else is up with you?
I don't know, man. Let's see. Gosh, I've become boring. Yeah. Exactly that. I mean, we did that commercial earlier today. It was fun for that butcher shop.
A funny commercial.
I sent it to several people, and everybody had the same reaction. I'm pleased with it.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny. I think it will. Yeah. I think it will go over well.
It's a funny meat commercial.
Yeah. Not for Arby's.
No.
It's not for Arby's.
They do have the meats.
They have the meats, but Ving Rhames is the one who tells you about that.
Yeah, but not at this local meat shop.
Yeah. Ving Rhames is not doing advertisements for this local meat shop in Minot, North Dakota.
No. OJ and Kale are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And OJ and Kale is not what they sell there because, again, it's a meat shop.
Exactly. If you want some juice and a leafy green vegetable,
go to a grocery store.
Yeah. And more power to you because that's health. That's vitamins and nutrients.
Sure. Yeah. What is this conversation
I have no idea
we're having?
I don't know where this is going.
Speaking of grocery stores, I went grocery shopping yesterday.
Yeah.
And I did it at Target simply for the reason that I wanted. There were a couple things that I needed to get, and I could only get at Target, and I didn't want to go to Target and then have to go somewhere else after that to get the rest of my groceries.
Yeah.
So I just continued grocery shopping at Target. I was under the impression that they would have a decent selection of nice coffees, and
they don't.
I feel like that was not the case. No. Like what I'm looking for is like whole bean light roast coffee. And they had one bag of that.
Really?
So I got it. And it's not bad. It's like a specialty coffee that's a little weird in flavor.
What color's the bag?
It's red.
Okay.
I don't remember the brand, but I chose the one that seemed to have like, they listed kind of like some of the notes on the bottom, like these flavor profiles. And there was one other one where it was like, those flavors don't sound like they go together to me, and I don't want to try that one. But then the one that I did get was like, yes, those flavors seem congruous.
Dirt, blood, motor oil.
Yeah. So I will get that one instead. But it's fine. I think the ratio that I tend to use is a little light for that exact type of coffee, because I was tasting it. It was like, this flavor needs to be slightly more intense. The flavor wasn't doing anything for me, so I think I need to make the coffee to water ratio a little more even.
Yeah, I like them dark and bitter.
I am not.
Also, I like my coffee that way.
Hey, I'm not super like I don't mind bitter things in general. Like when it comes to beer, I like IPAs and that sort of thing. But I don't know if I'm a huge fan of like real dark roast coffee and like really intense flavors for coffee. I think it's not quite my, if I'm drinking it to like really kind of taste it, it's not quite what I'm looking for. If I just need caffeine and shoved into my body, I don't give a shit what it tastes like.
Yeah, that Folgers that we have at
Folgers
in the red can.
Yeah, I could care less what it tastes like if it's just there for the caffeine. But if I'm having a nice sip before work, something that's maybe a little dainty. It's going to dance across your tongue. It's like, look at me. You're also getting caffeine. I don't know. It's the coffee fairy.
That's what it is. The coffee fairy.
He's from the Fey realm. He's from the Fey realm, but specifically the one beneath Columbia.
Sure. Yeah, but they live right next door to the
cocaine fairy.
The cocaine fairy. Yeah. I got a great idea for a business, man.
The coffee fairies are like, okay, we're a little bit on the same wavelength, but you're just way more intense, my guy.
You are a lot.
You need to dial it back. Like we're on the same frequency here, but you need to dial down the volume about 20%. Way more than that, actually.
You might also notice that...
Yeah, a lot of stains on that there shirt.
Well, it's not really stains so much as
It's drool.
Yes.
You drooled on your belly.
It's... Well, drool would evaporate eventually. This is pizza grease, is what this is.
Yeah, so those are stains. Yeah, stains from the pizza grease.
They'll come out.
Sure.
I'll get them out. So, I mean, because I made a triple pepperoni pizza.
Triple pepperoni pizza.
Triple pepperoni.
Triple pepperoni pizza.
Triple pepperoni pizza.
There you go.
There we go. I baked it at home. It was one of those take and bake situations. And here's how lazy I am. It was a...
How lazy are you?
I cut it into 4 slices. I'm like, I don't want to have to...
How big was the pizza?
It was just like a 14-inch.
Okay, those are pretty big pieces.
Yeah, they're big slices of pizza because I didn't want to have to... I don't have to commit to another piece of pizza.
Sure.
I wanted it to all be one piece. But the problem is it's triple pepperoni, and I'm not holding a large slice of it.
Yeah.
And it was just a waterfall of flavor. It was just... And that's why I have these on my shirt.
There's just...
Ladies.
The flavor wasn't the only thing falling.
Yeah.
The pizza also fell off the pizza, I have to imagine.
I mean, kind of. I mean, I was careful. I mean, it had the cup pepperonis. It was one of the flip, the pepperonis that when they get
curl
hot,
up,
they curl
like
up.
That, yeah.
And that one thing when they curl up is they become a reservoir.
Yeah, they hold the grease in there.
Yeah, and so as you take a bite, next thing you know, it looked really cool. I saw it in the mirror because it's red grease because it's from pepperoni.
So it looked like your beard was full of blood.
Yeah,
but it was pizza blood.
I looked like I was in a death metal band.
Sure.
I had pizza blood in my beard.
That's what it is. I mean, it's the same thing with a death metal band. It is pizza blood.
Right.
It's not even goat blood. It's pizza. If you want goat blood, go to a black metal concert.
Yeah.
That's the best you're gonna get at death metal is a pizza. But I mean, I can't judge you for having a stain. I have a piece of silvered onion stain on this sweatshirt that I washed the day before the stain got on it.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
So like at the beginning of January? Or?
Yeah, the last time I washed this sweatshirt. No, I wash this sweatshirt regularly now.
Exactly.
I wash it almost every time I do laundry.
Exactly. So you get that biannual washing.
It's not that. I have I have 172 and a half pairs of underwear.
Why? Why so many?
Because I only do laundry twice a year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're going along with the bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not some kind of monster that only wears like 10 pairs of underwear all year.
You can wear them backwards.
Sure.
And inside out.
But even so, no. Instead, I have 175 and a half pairs or 172 and a half pairs of underwear so I can wear a different pair of underwear every day.
So I got chastised at one point from a woman who's not my girlfriend anymore.
Uh-huh.
But she does still come to the house.
Okay.
And she's like, when you do all this laundry, I said, I just got quarters. She says, I have a washing machine that can handle like most of this all at once. You have the little washing machine that's the communal washing machine of your apartment building. Why don't you just let me take all of this laundry to my house and I'll wash it and bring it back? That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I have 2 baskets of laundry that are in her basement that I wish I could just sneak in, take back, and wash. I'll spend them. I'll put the quarters in.
Yeah.
But as it stands, they're just rotting in her basement.
Why don't you go get them though?
I probably will.
Okay.
But I've mentioned it. I said, hey, you done with it? I can just take them back. I just take it with me. It's cool. I'll just do it myself. You got a lot going on. You got all these kids. She has 8 dogs now.
What the fuck?
She has 2 adult dogs that have had puppies.
Okay.
And so, they're so cute. They're little puppies. I just want to eat one. And so
don't do that.
I'm not going to. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
you want your laundry?
I want my clothes. She's, I'm going to do it. When?
Well, now would be nice.
That would be nice. But she has a lot going on.
Well, then you got to be like, well, if you're not going to do it,
I'm going to do it.
Then I need the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it.
I've got plenty of underwear. I got a week's worth of underwear left. I got plenty of shirts and socks and things of that nature and pants. But it's looking a bit thin. It's starting to get to the point where I need to think about making sure I have I guess I'm an old man now. And that's
important to have many. You need pairs of underwear in triplicate now.
Yes.
Because you're shitting yourself constantly.
I shit in other people's pants.
I'm going to shit your pants.
No, I just worry because that's a classic gross thing that repels people.
Yeah,
this old man smell.
Of course,
if you smell like an old man, well, I want to make sure I'm wearing clean clothes every day. I'm well showered. I got.
You wash behind your ears. That's what I heard that once. I don't know if it's true, but they say that old people smell is gunk behind the ears or some shit.
Gunk behind the ears. And here's now my oldest child who has a little bit of experience with working with the elderly. She says the real answer is balls. Dad, wash your balls.
If you don't want to smell like an old man.
Yeah, make sure your balls and your taint and your crack, all of that, make sure that if you're not going to wash anything else, make sure that shit is clean, please.
Makes sense.
Thanks for the I love you too.
The smells collect down there.
They do. That's where all the flavor is. That's right, ladies.
No. Speaking of things getting thin, and back to this sweatshirt.
Okay.
I did buy a new.
Did you?
Wonder Years sweatshirt.
Nice.
That should be arriving at some point. So that will become the new sweatshirt that I will wear every day for the next 3 years. I'm sure.
I've actually considered, because I buy you a birthday present every year. I have considered getting you a Wonder Years hoodie, but like with the cast of Wonder Years on it.
Like, no.
Yeah.
With the font. No, that's Happy Days.
That's Happy Days. No,
this is the fuck is on the Wonder Years.
That's with what's the guy's?
Is there anyone anyone from the cast of the Wonder Years that remained relevant?
Daniel Stern did the voiceover for it.
So I feel like so much of the
Fred
cast.
Savage.
Okay, Fred Savage.
Yeah.
I feel like for Happy Days, so much of that cast remained like
Sure.
a part of American, like, screen culture.
Did you know that the woman that played Richie's mom, Marion, she's still alive? Did you know she's...
How old is she?
She's in her 90s, but she looks
Damn.
great. Like, be in her 90s.
Ernie, how I saw a thing that shocked me for how old Ernie Hudson is.
He's in his 70s.
I think he's older than that.
Is he 80?
Give me a second. He looks insanely good for his age.
Mm-hmm.
He's 78.
Okay, so close to 80.
Ernie Hudson is 78.
Mm-hmm.
And this is...
The guy from The Crow, right.
No, from Ghostbusters.
Well, he was in The Crow, too.
I'm sure. I don't know him for... Yeah, the movie that people really know Ernie Hudson
that's what
from.
you think of.
The Crow.
The alcoholic cop from The Crow.
No, I think this is him at like a premiere for the recent Ghostbusters thing.
Really? For the deep freeze movie or whatever?
I think so. Maybe. Maybe not. I see Ghostbusters on. Yeah, you see it's part of the word frozen behind him.
Yeah.
For Ghostbusters Frozen Kingdom. That man is 78 years old.
Well, he's taking care of himself.
God damn, dude. Yeah.
He's muscular. All his hair is not white.
He's on that fucking William Shatner shit. Like it's weird to me because William Shatner has never been he's never seemed like a really physically fit guy. He's always been a little plump.
Even a Captain Kirk was kind of a bit pudgy.
And yet the man is in his 90s.
94?
And he looks amazing.
Uh-huh.
He looks great. And also he sounds great. Like he's when he talks, when he speaks, he sounds energetic. He's excited. He's engaged.
He's still kind of a dick, but
yeah, he always has been.
Yeah.
But like when he's like, he seems like he hasn't slowed down mentally at all either.
I mean, so much so that he was cleared to go to space.
Yeah. He went to fucking space.
Uh-huh. Went to space and was disappointed by it.
He was disappointed and then was cut off by fucking Jeff Bezos spraying champagne all over the place when he wanted to say something poignant.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel that's how Jeff got rich as much as he did. He doesn't know how to read any room.
I think a lack of decorum and connected to that empathy is an important part of becoming a billionaire.
That is the thing they studied. Like CEOs and billionaires are like you are like
very likely to be a psychopath,
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Like the chances are you show a high percentage of psychopathic traits. Because you just have to not care all that much about people in order to make that much money, because people are where the money come from.
Right. And you have to like walk through a community or see on TV that people are starving and dying anywhere and still maintain hundreds of billions of dollars.
And choose not to do anything about that. Yeah. So anyhow.
Billy Joel,
sure. Billy Joel, if somehow you don't know, is an American singer-songwriter from New York. Specifically, I believe he was born in the Bronx. And he started making music in the 70s, early 70s. He had a kind of a surprising hit with Piano Man, sort of kind of came out of nowhere, blew up. Was a reasonable success. And then his next album after that, bit of a disappointment commercially for his record label, a little bit for himself as well. Started putting together, started touring, putting together this group of touring musicians that he became really attached to. And it was like, next album that I make, I'm going to make with these people. Right. Like these guys are going to be my band for the next album that I make. I want these people to record with me. And he started, looking around for places to record. And it seems like there was a whole bunch of people who told him no. They kept on trying to like put him with session musicians that the producers wanted to work with. And he wanted to work with who the hell is the the guy that produced a bunch of Beatles albums, George Martin.
George Martin, right?
Yeah, he wanted to work with George Martin, and George Martin was like, "Oh, here's these session musicians," and Billy Joel was like, "No, I want to work with my guys," and so he left, and then he eventually ended up working with Phil Ramone.
One of the lesser known Ramones.
Yeah, one of the lesser known Ramones. Yeah. Ended up working with him, recorded this album. Apparently part of the goal of this album is he wanted it to not be quite so clean as some of his earlier work. He wanted it to feel maybe a little bit more have a little more humanity in it, I guess. Right. I don't know. I don't have a frame of reference for how clean his earlier albums sounded, but I think this album sounds absolutely great.
Yeah.
It sounds really, really good, really clean. And I found this to be an incredibly enjoyable, very easy listening album,
but not easy listening in that, easy listening radio kind of.
Yeah.
But just easy to listen to.
It's like, it's so weird because the lyrics, if you really pay attention to the lyrics, it's a little depressing.
Yeah, it's a little depressing and very romantic at the same time.
Yeah.
He does that.
It feels a little bitter, like a little bittersweet in a kind of cozy sort of way.
Right.
Like it feels very comfortable in some way, and it feels kind of cozy. And there's so much great saxophone and organ, and like there's so many amazing instruments, clarinet. There's some great clarinet playing on this. The musicianship is all just amazing,
and whoever his piano player is fantastic.
I wonder who was playing the piano. But yeah, there's this kind of undercurrent. It's a little pessimistic, but in a very mundane way,
right? And
I think in a very relatable way. It's not one of those. Like, it's not like the way that like a metal album might be like pessimistic or depressing, where it's, everything's bad and terrible, the world's going to end, and all these things. It's like, life kind of sucks sometimes, but, hey.
Like the opening track.
Yeah.
Moving out. Yeah, he's
a guy who sort of feels like his life is going nowhere. His parents kind of want him out of there.
Yeah, and he looks at other people and how they're just throwing their life away, trying to just do a regular goddamn job. It's like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
It's like, that's what that's all about?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I guess I'll go out there.
Yeah, I'll do something else. Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of, it feels very relatable in that way. Of just like an admission of like, to quote Gary Allan, life ain't always beautiful.
And we know the people at the other end of these microphones are huge Gary Allan fans.
They'll know that reference for sure.
Immediately. And by the way, of all the country artists, he's definitely top 5 for me.
Oh yeah, I like Gary Allan just fine. I like Gary Allan's work.
Yeah,
at least the parts that I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I think he's a pretty, especially for modern country, pretty damn fine artist. He's not even really that modern anymore.
No, he's
from 90s, early 2000s.
He's close. He's my age, but he's gone through some serious shit and he's put it in his music. Whereas you get a lot of these country artists who are, hey, we gotta put in the classic beats, the classic subjects, and have everything. Whereas he puts in, sadness and grittiness and a little pessimism, kind of like this in a lot of different ways. And it's like, well, he just got real.
I got it.
Yeah.
I feel you, Gary.
Yeah.
But back to Billy Joel. This is just, I don't know. I was listening to it, and just the whole time I was just kind of sitting back, just like, all right.
I've sang some of these songs at karaoke.
They're good karaoke songs. Good old karaoke.
Good old karaoke.
The way that it's been, it's been broken for me because I know the vast majority of people in the United States say karaoke.
But here it's 3 consonants, 3 syllables.
Yeah. And most of the time in my previous life, before radio, I would have said karaoke, and I feel like most of the people I grew up with would have said karaoke as well. But I guess up here in this part of the state, it's karaoke. And now that's broken me because like there have been times where I've talked to my friends from other states, and I've the word has come up and I'll say karaoke and they're like, why are you saying it that way? Like it's a work thing. But yeah, what's your favorite song on this one to sing? If you were singing it in karaoke,
I have a memory that is forever colored blue of singing Just the Way You Are. So
you didn't want to stand through all nearly 8 minutes of
Scenes from an Italian
restaurant. Sing that at
they
karaoke?
had it.
That would be I feel like that would be maybe a little bit of a waste of everyone's time. It's just a little bit. It's a great song.
Sure.
But no one wants you to be up there for 8 minutes at karaoke.
Hey, dude, you're not Billy Joel.
Get off the stage.
You're drunk at the landing.
This person wants to sing Trace Adkins. Honky Tonk Badonka Donk is up next.
That's what we came here for, goddammit.
We came here for people singing stupid songs badly. Yeah. What do you got some words to say about this album?
Okay, I know almost all the songs on this course by heart because I was born in 1974.
Okay.
And so as a child, as a young child, anytime there was a radio was on, one of these songs was playing on it, and it doesn't matter. And so they are sort of the soundtrack, a large part of the soundtrack of my youth. So I know all these songs, and then eventually growing up, as a teenager and, in my 20s, I'm like, hey, I buy more albums, more CDs, more cassettes, things of that nature. Yeah. Of course, I got this. I'm like, I mean, all of these, this is not a greatest hits. This is just an album.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
These were all on the same release.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised to learn because, first of all, like you said, it's on the radio all the time because this became a massive hit for Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And, sort of kind of proved that he was doing him doing his own thing was the way to go for making successful music.
Yeah.
And that I was surprised to learn that there was a little bit of a controversy connected to this album in the sense that some religious folks are really not fond of the song "Only the Good Die Young."
You Catholic girls start way too late.
Yeah, if you pay attention to the lyrics, okay, I get why maybe some Catholic priests would be unhappy with this song. So that kind of delayed it getting released as a single. There's another song on here that originally,
because he went to Catholic school too. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I don't think I read that. What's the other song? I'm trying to remember. I think.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Guess what I was looking for just
your
now.
glasses?
Yeah.
That are on your face?
Yeah.
Moving Out was one of their first choices for like a single to be released, but apparently radio stations just weren't very interested in it. They wanted they were much more interested in Just the Way You Are.
Right.
And it took a little while longer for Moving Out to kind of come into its own like as a single and become a hit
right
in and of itself, which it eventually did. But almost all the songs on here have really continued to be in like a regular rotation. I think the only one I wasn't the only ones I wasn't super familiar
Everybody
with.
Has a Dream.
Everybody Has a Dream. She's Always a Woman, and Get It Right the First Time. Kind of the last three songs.
Probably the title cut is probably not something you've heard a whole lot of.
Yeah. The rest of them, I know I've heard. I've probably heard Vienna a few times.
That's actually got a huge resurgence in the last few years because it was like a meme thing on the internet. So
yes. Yeah, I've probably heard it, but like, just working at our radio station, I've, all the rest of these, I don't know if they're all still in regular rotation because we've had some changes to our on-air library, but yeah, like I was familiar with a lot of them, but there's probably, like a third of this album that I wasn't necessarily all that familiar with.
Sure.
At the time. Does this album slap?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say it slaps. Looking at the score, it came out to about an 85.5 out of 10 reviews that were listed, most of which were sort of more recent look back, sort of retrospective.
Yeah, because when you get an album that's 47 years old,
it's hard to track down those originals.
Those originals, yeah, because they're on paper
for sure. Although I mean, some like magazines, kept that's have stayed in publication, keep really thorough records of their articles and shit, and maybe have gone through periods of like, hey, let's this is a really important album. Let's look through our archives and see if we can find a review of it from back in the day and digitize that or some shit. But I think this was all more retroactive reviews. What's your favorite song on this album?
My favorite song on this album, man, that is a tough one. I mean, like I said, the one I like to sing is, Just the Way You Are. But and She's Always a Woman. God damn it. Maybe Only the Good Die Young.
It is hard to choose.
Yeah.
I had difficulty choosing as well. I wrote down Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Great song.
It's a great song, and I appreciate like we were joking about the length earlier, but I kind of because of the length, it makes me appreciate the storytelling that's going on in that song.
And there's a lot of storytelling going on.
There's a lot of storytelling going on, and there's a lot of variety in the instruments. There's it gets into that territory that you at the time would mostly only get from like a progressive rock song of playing with so many different elements and kind of the musical version of using the entire buffalo within a song. Sure. And I always, something about that always appeals to me, of like a band just sort of looking around at their setup and at their studio and going like, how much of this can we use in one track?
We're going to kitchen sink this motherfucker.
And I like that. I always think of one of the documentaries for Mastodon. I think it was for Emperor of Sand, where Braun just had a box full of shit. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to use all this in somehow.
Yeah. This is all going on the album.
Just a box full of random instruments, maracas, and one of those things where it's like the metal balls on a string, but they're wrapped around a thing with a handle. What's that called? Do you know what that is? Where you put your hand on it and you go like.
You're talking about I can't brain right now.
It looks like metal Mardi Gras beads, but they're wrapped really tight around like a cylinder with a handle on it. Yeah. And then I think you were supposed to put your hand. Yeah, you rub it with your hand. I don't know what that is. I've seen them before, but I have no idea what they're called.
Anytime you bring up that documentary to me, I picture them doing all this cool stuff and then cut to Brent in a spacesuit.
Just floating in a green screen.
Dirty behinds here.
I always like to pretend that, I know that the guys from Sleep and the guys from Mastodon know each other. So I like to imagine that inside the astronaut suit on the cover of The Sciences, that actually is Brent Hines. He is the... I can't remember what the name of that character is. It's some sort of combination of some weed thing and astronaut. I don't remember. What it is.
I have the feeling that if those bands all hang out together, they all talk.
I think they went on tour one time.
Yeah, sure. Of course. But I mean, just imagine them like backstage, not on stage, but I mean, just backstage and doing like they do because they're friends and they've been on tour together and they do stuff like that. And imagine just at some point, several times in the conversation, Mike says something to cause everything to come to a screeching halt. Just ignore. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Or did you mean Matt Pike?
I meant Matt, not Mike.
Yeah.
I portmanteaued his name. It's Matt Pike.
But yeah, so favorite songs, we covered that.
Mm-hmm.
Metal. What metal do you bestow upon this, like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca?
I mean, I have to give it a gold.
Yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't give it a gold from me just yet, but it's very high silver for me, as these often are. I'm not clamoring for more Billy Joel, but
sure.
I had a great time.
Cool. I'm glad.
I had a great time.
Well, let's clamor for something next month that you would like to clamor for.
Well, we're gonna do one more non-metal.
Oh, we are?
Because
all right, we're staggering.
We're doing 4. Each of these theme months, they're getting their due.
Okay.
Even though we're a week late still.
Right.
We could have, I guess 1 week we could have done a double episode.
Sure.
But fuck that shit. So it's a little bit of a toss up for me right now. I'm trying to decide between something that is probably going to be depressing. I'm trying to decide between masculine depressing and feminine depressing.
Okay, so we're either way. We're
probably depressed. I don't know. I don't actually know how depressing one will be. It'll be a little depressing. So it's a choice between Dan Campbell's side project, Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties.
Sure, which I enjoy, but that's depressing. Yes.
Yeah. Or the new Casey Musgraves album.
The new Casey Musgraves. This will be the second Casey Musgraves album.
It
we've
would
done.
be. And I haven't listened to all of it yet, so I don't quite know exactly how. I've been wanting to do an Aaron West episode for a long time.
Have we not done one?
We've never done. I don't believe we've ever done an Aaron West episode. I'll have to look. Maybe we did Routine Maintenance. I know we've talked about it because I have that album on vinyl, and I have a jean jacket that I bought as merch for that album.
Right.
I don't believe we've talked about Divorce in the American South. Or actually, no, that's the name of one of the songs on this album. The album is We Don't Have Each Other. So I kind of want to do just an Aaron West episode where I make you listen to all of it.
Well, that's a lot.
That's not that much. There's 2 full-length albums and 2 EPs.
Okay. I was thinking that the one of them was a double.
No, neither of them are doubles.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Sure. Okay. So we'll next week is just going to be Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties.
All right.
Because it is all one story. Because it's all a story about a fictional character.
Do I have to listen to it in chronological order as it was recorded, and will it flow that way, or
it will probably flow that way? Yeah.
Okay.
The story is kind of meant to be a sort of linear. So yeah, we'll do Aaron West next week.
Soupy.
Yes, Dan Soupy Campbell, pretending to be a very sad man from Brooklyn, New York.
You know, I think that there's a theme there. People named Campbell tend to be very sad.
Who's the other Campbell?
Well, just other people. You know, the people that made the soup.
Why are they sad?
You know, because they're sad because soup.
Okay. Don't understand, but we're going to move on. And thank you, the listener, for listening to this episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. Why don't you go ahead and follow us on social media on our Facebook page or the website formerly known as Twitter.
But for the record, I love soup.
He loves soup, everyone. You heard it here first. or go ahead and follow us on whatever service or device you're using to listen to us right now. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bronze Medalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations.